And so I want to correct my stance on LGBT. Where's the freaking plus sign? It's not even here. Just because I don't support your personal choices, that does not make me a bad person. It's God who has the problem with it. Sorry, not sorry, my husband is Muslim. Sure, at the end of the day, we're all just people. But
what are you doing?
I'm just kind of like making a more kind response to my last post.
Wait, you know what? I can't anymore.
God. No, sleeping with Dee Dee does not count as gay because Foodie Beauty. You like short hair? I can have short hair. You like blondes? I can be blonde. Hyper. You're gonna get it. Eurobees and shit. Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Marc's around. Say hi, Marc.
Hey everybody!
And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It's the weekend, so we can have coffee in the evening. A little bit of Splenda, a little bit of almond milk. We're going light. Uber Eats last night was a little heavy. I had my first bow. They were so good I had two. So I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's safe. Look after yourselves, of course. Today we're going to catch up with our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, Chantal and Sala, and Foodie Beauty again. She lives. She is back. And she learned nothing at all. So I'm going to try to use my glasses less because the glare is bothering me. But just to give you a roadmap of how I want to kind of look at this. Last week we talked about dignity, hypocrisy, sexual assault via Chantal and Pete's, and, you know, if a line was crossed, according to Chantal anyway. And sexual assault and the pets. The pets were having a problem too. BBJ is not well. So, okay, where did Chantal go? We're going to touch on that a little bit. We're in the world's Carmen, Sandiego. About how I said she learned, like, pretty much nothing. Little bit of deep stuff. Pete's flipped out over the cat. And she's back. So what does that look like? So, let's see where we will start. So where did she go? So the conspiracy theories about where Chantal was for 7 days or so were wild. It was everything from she was kicked off YouTube. She was demonetized completely. She was in a Kuwaiti prison for crimes against humanity of some sort. She was on a plane coming back here to Canada. So she was radio silent for a few days, and it was like nothing. About 72 hours, and there was no word of what was going on with her. Then we get a community post from her on another platform. She was talking, not a post, a video, on another platform. She was on Twitch and some others. And what it basically shook down to was that she was content. Bad content is what got her channel taken down for a week. She couldn't post anything. She couldn't post in the community post. I don't know about ban evasion because it seems like anybody who does any kind of reacting at all who gets thrown offline for any period of time usually takes it on the chin. Like, there's been some reactors who got the okie doke. Chantal just kind of acquiesced to the whole thing and just rode with it because she was happy with her husband in her new home. So she wasn't worried about only one of them having an income that just got struck for a week. So, YouTube finally catching up with her was another thing people thought. I hate to call that a conspiracy, but it doesn't seem to happen. Or at least not at the extent that it happens to other people. And not because her behaviors are any less outrageous. I think she's able to frame herself as the victim of almost anything that's directed towards her. At the same token, she's not being a hypocrite for reacting to other people's videos because Chantal. there's nothing after that. The kind of decisions that she makes like this are purely Chantal. There's a lot of us who've made wild decisions. I certainly have myself. I never went to Kuwait. I did move out of town with about $20 in a K car when I was 18, but that was the bravery particular to the youth, or the stupidity if you prefer. At 40, going out to have adventures is a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and a grand adventure by most people's measure, to go around the world, allegedly marry someone, and then have to come back to Canada eventually, where she left a mess. She left Pete's, she left BBJ, she left the house, Pete's with no income. Not her fault Pete's has no income, but Pete's probably he should have been working as soon as his depression started to lift. You know, I have a mental health concern too. Don't look surprised. And when you're sick, you're sick. You can't function, you can't work, and it doesn't matter if other people get it. However, his depression seems to have lifted. To a degree. His outbursts are a little jarring, but it seems to have lifted enough that he's social, that he's online in the chat, and of course that's the way he's making any money. I suspect Chantal still has her hands all over it somehow. Pete's is just like a little manservant. Little manservant he is. So, she had a 1-week ban, posting vids, community boards. She posted on Instagram, rewording her post that she put up that was a little bit bigoted. Just a little bit bigoted. We put it on, I think, at the end of last week. I'll see if we still have that. If we do, it's here. If not, I'm waving into thin air. Just a comparison. We ended the video last week with that, and that's what led us into the next. So, she learned nothing during the time she was gone. Apparently, absolutely nothing. She's come back as full-on Chantal, as unapologetic, as ungrateful, as smug and superior as she usually has been. Now she's trying to offset it. We have to remember, I will manipulate the hell out of you, and you will love me tomorrow, paraphrased. She puts up a post saying, hey guys, comments are back up, I miss everybody. She misses money. She misses attention. I don't know what the last week could have been like with the two of them, because it's kind of like when you take like the TV out of a room between two people who have uncomfortable social skills, like nobody talks because they're too awkward to do anything. I think without YouTube directing the two of them as a thing they're working on, that not having to happen for a period kind of puts it on, you know, what else is she interesting for? She's not working. She's not bringing anything in. Do I like having her around? And that's a question for Sala. I suspect I know his answer. But at the moment, he's just along for the ride. He obviously does not have the kind of persuasive abilities that Natter had. She went along with a lot weirder shit with Natter than Sala could ever ask her to do. Sala's a little more docile, and it's a little more of an exchange, I think. And I think she kind of figured out she's getting screwed a little bit, but to save face, she's kind of like, oh no, I wanted to get married. I wanted to give him $10,000. I wanted to use Febrez's perfume. The perfume business, God bless them. I couldn't decide if it was an earnest effort by people not ready to open a business or just some sloppy throwaway to cover selling something else under the table. You know, I couldn't really figure that out. So, did she learn nothing? I think it goes deep with people. And this is the deep thoughts. Chantal makes decisions that arguably are, you know, not good for her, hurtful to other people often enough. And we always say she gets off scot-free. She gets nothing coming at her. Nothing bad ever happens to her for how shitty she treats people. One, she does have some shitty things, to be fair. Throughout this finding herself, all she found is the free clinic, because she had gonorrhea, like, twice. She had to fly halfway around the world and drop, you know, $10K to get a guy to pretend to be her husband. That's really a blow to the ego. You know, we can debate back and forth, but there's no way to kind of dress that up a little bit. She had someone come in and steal her other fake boyfriend, too. The one who only had to fake love her. And then we had Dee Dee come in and sweep him away. She got rollover for Dee Dee. Not because of anything other than Chantal imagines herself and projects herself to be this highly interesting sex kitten, into all sorts of stuff. She's just a giggly, shy girl off camera, I suspect. You know, I'm sure she's still manipulative, but she does the sweet and kind manipulative versus the, you know, shoot a shot this way and look over here and smoke and disappear stage left and all the other little tricks that she ends up doing. So the deep stuff is that I think a lot of us have an idea that how the world works, and someone who behaves like her they'd have it coming. Call that preemptive, premature karma, or one time you're just going to screw over the wrong person and they're not going to take it like everybody else does. And because nothing seems to happen to her, aside from the gonorrhea and the abuse, and what I think's happening is people have this sense of injustice. Like, it's deeper than just, God, that woman makes dumb decisions. It's this idea that hits people with the way I think about how the world works, behavior like this. Not only does it not go rewarded, but it's deterred in some sort of way. If there's any sense to the whole world, it really, not her, she's not that important, but the idea that someone who behaves like her, consequence-free, is upsetting to people, I think, on like almost a spiritual level. I'm not that deep into it, but I can see where that's coming from. I kind of look at the choices she makes and goes, anybody else wouldn't get away with it. Teflon Chantal, I guess. And nothing sticks to her. But I try to keep in perspective. And that's something, wouldn't it be nice if we could all act on every single impulse and have zero consequences? To that extent, I think I'd be jealous. That she can keep the money because it's like ill-gotten gains, but the ability to do that, I guess it is. But Chantal's not burdened with things like dignity, honesty, integrity. So there is no real version of what's going on. It doesn't exist. It's a mixture of a few lies, shot off course occasionally by people who have extra information, who know them in real life, who are trying to build their own channel, and it's advantageous to say, I'm in close with Chantal and here's the real deal. I just need some subs first. So I said last week, nobody's totally altruistic. The nicest one is the friend of Sala's, who Chantal ripped his wife a new one, and it was somewhere in those streams that whatever happened, that the channel was pulled off. So even if it's not just karma coming back her way, TOS! Everything. I've seen other channels taken down for far less, or at least demonetized, forbidden from doing XYZ. YouTube, I've seen, gets creative sometimes with their punishments. It's kind of a little of this and a little bit of that. And the fact that she can pretty much skirt TOS, and that when she's been already twice had to take a break, the strike system is not super forgiving. It's not. She can appeal. She'll call her manager, blah, blah, blah. And we'll see what happens. But if she's ever taken off YouTube, it'll be for a good reason. Put it that way. It would be for a good reason. So, she had no consequences except her shit life. So to that extent, there are consequences. We're not seeing direct, she did this wrong to this person, and then this person did something to me, so I'm going to get back at hit. It stops being wrong. If the first action of the other person was wrong, not good to do, hurtful, selfish, whatever. I'm not having a moral discussion. I'm talking about like just human beings being human beings. She's not capable. She's not capable of that. She's not capable. Every action she makes has a selfish motive and a manipulation. Like all of them. Like she already got Sala into the position she had Natter in. Depend on me for money, quit your job, I'll take you everywhere you need to go, blah, 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 blah. And in exchange, don't even look at another woman or man. Just highly possessive, highly protective of something that, when it looks like a joke, is kind of like funny to watch. Like, I love my husband, I love my marriage, but without a smile, without this, without that. He loves me just the way I am. Then why are we covered up to our nose and still filtering the garment? And it's weird. It makes his cheeks suck in when he's in the picture too. He looks like E.T. with these big eyes. With a big eyebrow. And so BBJ has gotten a lot of discussion time. BBJ being Chantal's 20-year-old cat. She has 2 cats. And while she went to go play romance abroad, Pete's was home. I'm not going to say Pete's was left home because, he's supposed to be more self-sufficient than this. Frankly, I think he might need extra support. I know he was going to therapy, but maybe even, some activities that would help. Because I think Pete's is, good guy, but ready to explode at any time. And his kind of, the quiet guy with the explosive anger, is a type of guy that is scary to a lot of people. I don't think Pete's is, deadly. I don't know if he has the capacity to kill. And even though Chantal's not responsible for his employment, there was like a dependency that he has had on her for years for do this for me, pay for this for me, make it all okay. And all he had to do in exchange was be her friend. And she would handle everything else, put him up in a place to live, left the country, and still, well, allegedly she was going to pay the rent. The money's been a little, not all that it could be lately for her, especially with a week off, with nothing but, she was getting the residual views from her old videos. So it's not like the whole channel was down. You could still find her and you can still watch stuff, but she couldn't put up anything new. And she dies without attention and gets very cranky, very, very cranky afterwards. So Pete's on his own channel, Pizza in my mind, whatever it is. People were asking him questions about BBJ. In one of his videos on his channel, he had said that she had the shakes. She felt a little shaky. She's a 20-year-old cat. So, little shaky. People got concerned. You should take it to the vet. Do you need money to go to the vet? The cat should go to a vet. A 20-year-old cat that shakes needs medical attention. Pete's flipped out at the suggestion he'd be anything like responsible. It's not his fault she dumped the pets on him. But caring for them falls into his lap. Now, Chantal will say, what did you want me to do? I was halfway around the world. Well, you chose to leave your pets with someone who maybe was a little inept at it. And what was Pete's going to do if they needed veterinary care? He doesn't drive, and he's broke. And half a world away, I suspect it's easy for her to kind of feel like that's all so far away. It has nothing to do with me. Doesn't matter. She comes back. She's going to find the apartment. She's going to find Pete's. She's going to find one, her animals aren't, like, safe. And I don't, like, her cat's 20. So if it had been extremely mistreated, which I think it's neglected and then used as a prop, it probably would have passed away by now if she was a terrible pet owner. But she's only as close to them as she wants to be. When she wants to go home, I don't want to leave my cats for the night, which means he kicked me out after we slept together. So I have to go home now. So on the long drive home, she would talk about missing her cats as the reason she left. Not that she was told, get the hell out of here, die in the snow on your drive home. Something very, very different. So, we touched on in the beginning, in the opening to the opening, how Chantal had posted a nasty community post, arguably nasty, about LGBTQ folks. Someone had asked her, do you support them? And she said, well, in short, no. Oh, no. I'm going to have to take that to my shrink. Chantal doesn't approve. That's almost a pat on the back. If it's bothering Chantal, you're probably on the right track. So she put out a post that was perceived as not kind by a lot of people. Now, I have zero feeling outside of the fact that if you're a homophobe, then you're a lot of other things too. Okay? Chantal, as a person, even if she was, when she was bi for that week and us gays were going to go to the Pride Parade, it was advantageous for her at the time to try to do that. See if she become YouTube's biggest, fag hag. Wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. And it didn't stick. But she's, adopted a lifestyle before that now she has a moral stance against, which means everyone who's currently doing what she used to do is garbage to her because she's risen above it. Wait do you see what she hasn't risen above when she gets back to Canada? And at the moment, I'm hearing bits and pieces. Look at Sala. Look at what's going on. When he got there, she was like, I'm going to get her into shape. We're going to go walking. All the food's effing fresh as could be. And she was going to be slimming out. Now she's concerned about the flight home. She thinks she may have gained a little weight. Okay. Someone who's very comfortable with their appearance and their body and very out and proud. And I'm not even talking the garment, I'm talking the face filters. Like when you craft the hijab around and then shrink the rest of it, her eyes look huge. She looks unrecognizable. Almost like cartoon cute. Big eyes, small chin. That's why E.T. looks cute, even though he's gross. I think it's just a thing that looks like that. And her covering herself up to her eyes and then filtering the eye fat is wow, so proud to be ourselves. So proud to be out and about. To be fair, I think she wouldn't even need the hijab to keep herself safe from other men. I think not wearing it would probably be more of a deterrent than wearing it. But that's just a thought. So, we had a guy in jail one time. This makes me think about Pete's. And I was in like a 3-month stint at the time that I was doing it. I have a past too. And he was like Pete's. Quiet, longish hair, pale, kind of kept to himself, but a little passive aggressive. And he was getting the usual treatment that new guys would get. And it's county prison. We weren't on Oz. Okay, there was no like bleeding, crying, and property owning and bronzing of people. But the guy stuck out. And the usual ball breaking that went on for a while. I mean, I was the only gay guy on the block of 90 people. There was ball breaking. But you stay. You put up with it. You don't sass back with it. And people will eventually just leave you alone because they don't get a flare out of it. You know, it's not a thing. So after a couple nights of getting teased, he freaked the fuck out. Screaming. Ran out of the hut. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to wake guys who are in jail and they're sleeping. It's your only private time while you're there is while you're in your bed and your eyes are closed. That's your space, but that's about it. And 2 in the morning gets up, buzzes the CO to let him out because we were in dorms. There was 16 of us in one cell, and you had to get buzzed out to use the bathroom at the end of the hall. Hit the buzzer, open the door, slam that fucking thing, wake the dead. So his explosive, way of coping with things, he didn't have the resilience the guy was in jail with to cope with what was going on. And who can blame him? I'm not built for jail. I'm not a tough guy. I just kept under the radar. Mind your business. Do your time. Don't flare if someone calls you a gay name or a gay slur. I heard more slurs in a Catholic high school than I did in jail, just to be clear. The people in the jail were more accepting too, especially the Bloods, because I think they're all East Coast, New Yorkish types, and people who are different from themselves are just part of the landscape. They're not an oddity. So I felt pretty okay where I was, but he wasn't built for it. He ended up going into protected custody because that's where all the people who are like snitches, crooked cops, people like Karate Joe, all get segregated in the population because left on their own, they might be left a target. Well, if he's going to go around screaming and slamming doors, yeah, he's going to be a target. He better move. So they're in 23-hour lockdown a day in that portion of the jail, 23 ones. So 23 hours you're locked in, you're out for an hour, you can get a shower, and then you have to get back in. So I don't know. Pete isn't really big on resilience. He survives, but he doesn't thrive. I've never seen Pete say he's excited about some new upcoming project that he's going to jump into or some big exciting thing. Comic books and Ramona. And those are like his only interests outside of sitting around, pretty much. And I would hope going forward, and that's where I'll leave Pete's, that he gets some extra support. Even if she's coming back in a week, get some extra help. I wouldn't ignore her behavior in lieu of her support. The LGBTQ thing, like, I don't support her just because if she did support it, that's like supporting rain. I mean, gay people are just here. You can support them or not support them. We're here anyway. But just because she would like side with me on that, and this is not enemy of my enemy is my friend, and it's Chantal and I versus the bigots. Chantal used that to get content. She was pretending to be comfortable with something she's not. Somebody who really believed all people were worthy of dignity and respect would not probably associate themselves with people who are like that. And it's not Muslim shit. I had in the States, it was very different. I think maybe told you guys before, I was the gay and lesbian student union head. And in our student activity center, we had an office and theirs was right next to us. And during Ramadan, they'd have potlucks every night. And they invited us because people's is people's. Sometimes more devout people's is hostile people's. Not always, but sometimes. So my experience with people of the Muslim faith is nothing at all like she's experiencing in that region at the moment. As such, it's easier for me maybe to say people's is people's. I'm aware that people use that faith as an excuse to throw guys like me off the roof in some parts of the world, or go to jail. Syria's 3 years, I think Kuwait is 6, something like that. So you know, is it relativism? Is it cultural relativism to be homophobic, judgmental on other people's stuff like that, and say, I don't know. But even if she did show up to a pride parade, I'm not holding her hand. Just because you support a cause important to me doesn't mean I don't think certain things about the causes you support otherwise. So, at any rate, so she's back. She's back. And her being back involved, well, short. She put up a short. And she put up a reaction to a reaction of French Fried Girl. Okay. So the creator, is it Yo Mama? I might be getting two of them confused. Had put up, he was talking about French Fry Girl in a video and reacting to it pretty much, playing that video and then his comments because he doesn't like her. So again, Chantal is very much the enemy of my enemy is my friend. She could hate this dude and have no use for him, but if he hates someone she hates too, they're besties. So this guy's talking his opinions like any reaction channel does. His word choices may have been a little sketchy. And normally that would just be his problem. But Chantal reposted that video in full on her channel. After posting stuff like this, she decides that she's going to do that. Take someone's entire reaction, post it, and then add transformative stuff to it. Now, Chantal doesn't have right and wrong as things. It doesn't become wrong to her if other people do it. So other people are not doing... They're doing bad things until she does them. And then it's like, well, everybody does that. Everybody does that kind of thing. So when she came back and reposted a whole video of someone else's comments and only added 10 seconds of something in the beginning and then some voiceovers to it, first of all, that's lazier than some of the laziest reactions I've seen. Like, so lazy. Like, I have an opinion, but I'm too lazy to film it. So I'm just going to repost what this guy said. It's resharing quotes in the community board is a little bit different than taking the entire video. This is the kind of thing she would get pissed about with people like Charlie Gold and others who would essentially replay the whole entire video with some commentary. I find it curious what YouTube counts as transformative myself, because I've seen stuff monetized that was like, are you kidding me? Or even left up. But that's not my call to make. That's within the interpretation of TOS, I guess, because it seems to be interpreted some ways for some people and other ways for others. So to that end, whatever. But coming back second video and putting out that, which is sketchy, it's not only something she said she disagreed with, it's something she said should be reported as well because it's stealing content. Now, I don't think this guy will report her stealing it because she probably wants to promote any voice that hates French Fried Girl, you know, because if they don't like the same person, they could probably get in on something together. All she did was steal his stuff and then replay it. And that's fine. You know, whatever. TOS is TOS, I guess, and we can do that kind of thing. But if you have a personal gripe against it and then do it to somebody else, you've just decided that, you know, you have zero moral code. That whatever anything anyone did to you, you can do back with a clear conscience. Certain kinds of people can do that with a clear conscience, and I think Chantal's one of them. The rest of us with hearts are not. So, I've been chatting for a bit. We're going to bring in Mark for a little bit of a discussion. He's going to touch on a few points that we went over. And then we'll wrap it up after he comes through. So let me summon him. Mark! Mark! Could you come in a minute, please? He's at the back.
I'm here. Hey, everybody.
Y'all know Mark.
How are ya?
So we were just catching up with old friends.
Yes.
And Chantal's back. She was gone for a week.
Oh.
She's returned. Now the world can continue to rotate.
Yes.
So we touched
In
on
her
that.
mind.
In her mind. Her rewording of her letter about LGBTQ stuff. How she's just a more friendly bigot now than she was before. Crap like that. What do you think is going on?
Yeah, talk about friendly, her big comeback. I miss you, everybody.
I'm
All
gonna
happy.
leave comments open.
So manipulative.
How big?
I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't have a lot to comment on the last week. I mean, she was kind of MIA,
for the most part.
the whole time, and I'm glad that happened to her. And I remember talking to a couple of people, and I was saying, I hope she learned from this, because she is not exempt from these things.
No.
She's not a unique individual with special privileges here,
Yeah.
And I think she thinks that sometimes. She has constantly stated in the past, I make them so much money, I'm above the law, so to speak. But it's not the case.
She's big fish, small pond.
Right.
For us. When you look into
for
the
us,
real world of YouTube, she's like a fart in the wind.
She's not. Yeah. Right.
You know,
exactly.
She can make a living, but
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I
But-
mean, she's built up this thing. This is her job. She makes her money from this.
what a
you know.
resume builder.
Right. The problem is that when things like this happen, when you get banned or when you get put on timeout or suspended, you know, and especially now being in a foreign country where they have much more. It's more strict there. You know?
Consequences
I would
for different
imagine
things.
YouTube would be the same, like more strict. I don't know. I can't because I don't know any of that. You know, but anyway, yeah. I was hoping she would learn. As it turns out, you know, she didn't. I mean, just. You know, she came on very friendly and happy and all, and then had a rage. Overnight. I mean, you know, it's the same old thing.
The same old thing.
She doesn't learn. If anything, all of this, the post, the suspension, everything, you know, it just again, you know, reinforces what her true character is, you know. And I always tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, you know.
I still, a little part of me does.
I
can't stand her. She makes my skin crawl, but I've seen worse people than her get better.
I have. Absolutely.
I've seen
get better.
People
That's
get
the
better.
key. She doesn't want to, and I truly believe she doesn't even
I don't think she thinks it's necessary,
right? And she clearly is a person who is self-imploding, and you know, you know, with her recent, you know, with her decision making and with what she's like with everything, you know. But anyway, so yeah, it was just more of the same thing last week, even when she wasn't here, and you know, she's proven again that she is manipulative, doesn't, you know. She's a person of very low quality. I like that. You know, I think I first heard that on All in the Family. Archie Bunker said that about somebody.
You think he's the nice one? I'm the nice one.
But anyway, you know, I mean, but it really does. And you know, what I wanted to talk about was like what I was thinking, like what's going to happen now, because I was watching some things and she alluded to that she's afraid to get on the plane now.
Yeah.
Now, this is because she's bigger. Come on. I mean, she is, like, since she got there. And, you know, and saying little things. I think what we're going to see is some type of diversion, some type of, like, maybe a medical arc.
Yeah, like go right from the airport to the ER.
Coming soon.
Something like that.
You know, this has been a track record of hers. We've seen this happen so many times over the years. You know, and basically using the ER as, you know,
as
regular medical appointments, right?
Get a hangnail, go to the ER.
Yeah, right?
I mean, people in Canada pay high taxes for that kind of care, but not her.
Not her, no.
No, she's just a vacuum of neediness.
Part of it, you know, maybe she's afraid to go back home. Maybe she, you know, she has to face, you know, what she left. I know there were these unpaid taxes that were, you know, an issue. There was several things that were issues when she just abruptly left like that.
Yeah.
The cat situation did not sit well with me at all, both with her and with Pete's, but you know what, it is what it is. Speaking of, someone just jumped up here.
He was like, cats are getting neglected?
Come on, say hello to everybody.
Bandit has a reaction to the veterinary shit.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But
he'd shit in her bed.
You know, and that what she did with whenever the issue came up about the cat, and you know, her rebuttal to that was that these are other cats that are the same age as,
and they're fine.
Again, not even taking note, oh, is my cat okay? Not showing 1 ounce of care or anything for the cat at all. You know, it...
Out of sight, out
just
of
out of sight. But yes, I think we're going to see some type of diversion. I think possibly a medical issue, emergency. Remember last week or the week before when she had a migraine and couldn't go with him to go out and started, like, everyone was concerned. You know, I think it's going to be something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. I don't know. Sometimes she plays the migraine game.
Yeah.
As an excuse for not going out with everybody else, too, because they don't want her to go.
Done that.
Or she's left
many
behind.
Times. Yeah.
But... like everything with her, it's twofold.
There's something else.
It's to explain two things, and it's to always have in the back of her head. You know, she doesn't have diabetes anymore. She cured that by overeating.
She cured it.
Yeah, cocaine cures diabetes, sure.
I know. But that was just what I would, I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see,
Will she go back home? Will she not? Are they married? Are they not? Like, I saw a marriage license floating around the internet.
It looked like the kind you buy at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, it does. And the church was, what was it? The Church
of Daily Life and
Honesty
Love
or something?
something.
I was like,
something.
what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
but she had said if she produced any document,
no one would believe her anyway.
And
so
that's her fault.
That's her out.
That nobody would believe me, so I'm not going to show it.
And anyway, that's her business anyway. But she has chosen to live her life as a public figure and all of this. So that's why everybody is seeking and looking and want to know, is this real? Is this not? And we still don't know. So it tells me that, But anyway, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. Anything else on that?
Not that I can think of. I'm thinking pretty much.
Either.
I'm liking the angle of the medical thing. It's been a long time since she had
she's
done attention seeking via health problems.
Yeah.
She hasn't in a while. She's been saying her life lives on in spite of them.
Right.
Or that they're not issues anymore.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
Filtering your blue feet and stuff like that. Which I hope to God isn't true. But whatever. So that's all she wrote for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. So I guess we shall see.
We shall see.
So,
all right.
Well, you have a good week, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Bye, Mark.
Bye-bye.
So, one final closing thought. The cat is still reacting. All of this is still to get Natter's attention. Sorry. It's not my shitty perspective, it's hers. All of this still goes back to him. All of it. She thought he'd be jealous of Sala. He's not. She thought he would leave Dee Dee. He's not. It's ego for her now. It's not about love. It's not being about love, probably after the first date. It's about control, spite, revenge, and all of these things are all calculated somewhere in her head to get his attention or win his approval or something like that. I think she thought if she went Muslim, he'd come out of, as if the only reason Nader didn't want to be with her was because she wasn't Muslim. Nothing else. He was thrilled with the rest of it. It was just that one thing. That was his easy out. Now she'll come back and be like, hey, I'm Muslim. Let's go make babies. So, I don't know. So we'll catch up next week. We'll see what's what. See if she disappears again. Maybe. Who knows? But, we'll see. It's going to be some big splash when she gets back. I'm just not sure what kind of drama or crisis it's going to be. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You get alerts when we have new videos and go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveandmarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveandmarc. Our email address and contact information is all listed below as well. Thank you again, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. We go live at 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday nights. So if you're free, definitely stop by. It's open chat. It's real chill. We have a good group. And it's just bullshit. It was just talking. So if you're free, do stop by, and thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, Mark.